Hey again, this is part two of our parent meeting presentation. We had just talked about the events. Now we get to a lot of the hopefully quicker things for it, which is program expectations. So these are new things, some that are new, some that are old that we're implementing this year, but that I want to make you aware of as far as certain parts of our program and just the way that we carry ourselves and conduct ourselves with it. First off is concert etiquette. This was an issue that we had extensively last year because some of our 7th and 8th graders hadn't had the adequate practice of concert etiquette. And so these are things that will help us to practice that more and to demonstrate good etiquette at these events and hopefully in subsequent events as well. First off, cell phones need to stay with parents for these events. Y'all probably 7th and 8th grade parents, you'll remember seeing me running around with a box last year carrying all the cell phones. It's just good behavior etiquette to not have a cell phone out during a concert. It bugs the performers because now they see the audience faces flash up randomly. It's good for the audience because we know that their attention is at the concert itself and all the hard work that our students have put in. And generally, it's hard to compete attention-wise for something that makes lights and sounds and has all of your friends right there in the palm of your hand. And we want to make sure that our attention is given to the other performances and the other ensembles for each of these concerts, whether they're our own students performing or students from other schools. And so that's something that we'll be trying our best to crack down on. I'm not saying that students don't need to bring their cell phones at all. Some of them need to contact our parents if our parents are going elsewhere and all that kind of stuff. And I get that. But students should not have them on them during the concerts. Uniforms, as I said, we are getting new uniforms. Last year, there was a little bit of confusion about this because we had a toss-up of either getting brand new risers, which we desperately needed. Our other ones were not up to code for that, or getting tuxedos and dresses and concert dresses. We ended up going with the risers and putting the money for that. This year we're actually going for the uniforms themselves. So ladies will be wearing long formal black dresses. Men will be wearing tuxedo shirts and pants and ties and cummerbunds and all that kind of stuff for our formal events. Any informal events that we happen to have, that'll be things like the 8th grade Spirit Night coming up on October 5th, and any other impromptu concerts that we do for the community. We'll need t-shirts and black pants. This is not black yoga pants. These are not leggings. I know that they're very comfortable and very, that students appreciate wearing those. The only problem is that leggings are in that little iffy category of, most of the time they're appropriate, hopefully. Sometimes they're see-through or not very flattering. And we want to make sure that, we're looking professional and that we're looking like we know what we do. So t-shirts and black pants, please. They sell these at Walmart, Target, Kohl's, hopefully for a decent, cheap price, especially for back-to-school sales and all that kind of stuff. So, the final one, and this is really important because our students are actually going to be performing combined pieces for the ends of most of our concerts. And so it's really important that our students stay until the end of the event. The only exception, of course, like I said, being our 8th grade student night at Lambert on October 5th, where, after they perform, they're free to go. But for all of our concerts, it's important that our students are staying and sticking around and supporting the entire program, not just the part that they performed in. Homework. Your students hopefully have mentioned something about charms. Most of our formative assessments are weekly practice logs and monthly recording sessions that we're going to be doing using the CHARM system. This is an online program, and I'll show you how to access it, how to find this very, very shortly. But it's what they're going to be doing the majority of their program majority of their homework on for this class, just because we have so many big events going on, and because it's important for young musicians to understand not only how to perform and not only the basics of singing, but to understand good practice habits too. That's something that's not taught very often, and good practice habits lead to good performance behaviors and good practice behaviors all throughout life. I'm not saying that I want your students to be professional musicians for the rest of their lives. If that's what they want, I will help them get there. But if not, that's fine. But music is still a very important, very beneficial aspect of life. And so for them to be lifelong music makers is part of my mission. And that starts with understanding how to practice as well. We do have morning help sessions to help them with any of this. They can knock out their practice logs actually early in the morning and get help with sight reading, get help with All-State, 9th District, any of those things. My office hours as of now are only available Wednesdays and Thursdays. We hope come December I'll be able to open that up to 5 days a week and have from 8 o'clock in the morning in my room until about 8:45 when the bell rings on those. So they can come in and do whatever they need to in my room and get one-on-one help from me anytime they need it. Okay. Communication, we are using Remind. We used Charms last year, which was a hot mess, so we're going to actually stick to Remind with most of our communication. I'm really quick to answering questions on Remind as needed. You can text this code 38E4227 to the number 81010 to sign up for this on your phone, or you can sign up online using this exact same code online and it'll take you straight there. Also, parents, please help your students log into Charms so that they can go ahead and verify that the email information that I have in there is correct in case I need to reach out to you via email as well. That's the one issue with Remind is I'm limited character-wise. So if I have to send something with instructions or any of that, Charms will help a lot more. Okay. Some of the updates, I have already covered a number of these, but we mentioned the uniforms, we mentioned the joint concerts and events. We are trying to partner up with Lambert's Choir a lot more, partially because I think it's more beneficial to our students when they end up going to high school, wherever they end up going, to have some kind of friends and contacts already there. And the more that we can team up with Lambert, the better it's going to be for that transition into high school, especially if they end up doing chorus in high school. They're not walking into an ensemble with completely new faces. They can go into class and have some friends and already know the layouts and already be well informed of some of the procedures over there. I mentioned the fundraisers, uniforms, dresses, and all that. There was a increase in our choir dues. Now, there is a fee for choir. We had a fee last year. It was $45. We did have to increase that by about $20 to help pay for uniform costs. Now, the way this works is I am purchasing the uniforms for a rental, but working that into the choir dues. Your choir dues gets you the uniform rental, gets you the free choir t-shirts, gets you all of the music, folders, gets you transportation to and from events. It helps book our venues. It helps pay the accompanists, and it helps pay for food, at least at one of the events, and any other operational costs that we may have. I know it seems like a lot, but this is my way of not doing what happened with me in choir, which was I was told that I needed money for music. And I go ask my father for money for that. The week later, I needed money for a field trip. A week later, I needed money for a concert, and so on and so on and so forth. And I don't like being nickel and dimed or feeling like I'm being nickel and dimed. I don't want that to be the case for any of our parents here. Now, with that said, if there are any financial considerations, any financial hardships, I understand that. I was on the receiving end of those myself when I was in middle school and high school. And so please contact me directly via email. My email is mabrew@forsyth.k12.ga.us. Email me privately and we'll try and work something out with that. But there's no reason why students should be barred from participating in our program and our events due to financial hardships. That said, so that we can start ordering our uniforms and ordering the t-shirts and the music and everything, we're going to try and have the choir dues in and due by the end of August. That's August 31st. I believe that is next Thursday, if I remember correctly. we'll go ahead and round it out and extend it to next Friday. So if y'all can get those in as soon as you can pay cash, check. If you pay check, please make it out to RMS Chorus or RMS Choir or something that indicates RMS in the music program. And then for your convenience this year, we've opened up the ability to pay via My Payments Plus, so the money doesn't have to be given to somebody, and there's no extra mediation, extra steps. You can pay for it immediately online and be done with it, and not even have to worry about it the rest of the year. Okay. Now, this is the one that I know a lot of our 7th and 8th grade parents are really, really interested in. Unfortunately, we are still ironing out the last few details on this, and I don't want to give you some information and then have to change it later. So we are planning a Disney trip this year. The opportunity that we're doing is called Festival Disney and Disney Sings. They are workshops put on by Disney, one of the world's leading entertainers or entertainment companies. And what these do, I've done this before, both as a choir member and as a director. What these are they are opportunities for us to go behind the scenes at Disney and see what the life is of a professional performer for them. It also lets us compete and be judged by world-famous, world-renowned judges, and to work with a world-renowned choir clinician. Last time I did this, I got to work with Z. Randall Stroop. He writes a lot of the music that we're performing. Fantastic, a genius in music, and let me tell you, I learned more from him in about 15 minutes than I learned in 3 years of college. So this is an opportunity, a once in a lifetime opportunity for our students to do something memorable, truly memorable in music, and that will help them to be better performers in the long run. They'll have some time at the parks. They'll have time to perform in one of the Disney parades and to be judged and hopefully take home some awards as well for our performances. We're actually going with South Forsyth Middle's band, Piney Grove's chorus, and DeSana Middle's chorus as well. So it's not like they're gonna not know anybody when they're down there. We're representing Forsyth County quite a bit this year. In addition to those, what I can tell you is that right now we're still ballparking the cost. It's looking right now like it'll be roughly around $875 for the total. We will be doing this in monthly payment plans starting in September. The first payment is actually coming up fairly close, which is why I do want to give you this information for right now. It will cost about $170 and will be due September 14th, so we can go ahead and book the hotel, get the finalized numbers, and also book some registration fees for the event itself. Because otherwise, as much as I would love to see your kids camp in the middle of the Disney park, I don't think they're going to let us do that. So if you're interested in attending this trip, your first payment will be September 14th for $170. If it's any past that, I cannot guarantee that we're going to get the rooms that we need, and that will significantly change the price. So please do your best. I will send out reminders well in advance for this so that we can start getting these in, and I will do my best also to go ahead and open up a My Payments Plus for this type of thing as well, just in case you want to go ahead and do that online as well and make things easier. You can follow the money that you have paid through the Charm system. We're keeping tabs of it that way, so you can actually see, if you like to go on the trip, you can see how much you paid and how much you still owe for that. It's just an easy way to keep track of all of that information. All right. Finally, volunteers. We will be needing volunteers for some of our events. Definitely volunteers for chaperones. And for one of our events, a dinner and a show that we're trying to put on for November, we're still working out the details for that as well, so I'll have more information later on. But we'll be needing some provisions for that, things like bottled water, possibly donating some time or some money to help serve food for that, whether we cater, whether we cook, or any of that kind of stuff. But definitely these are some really big ones. Chaperoning, since we have the Disney trip, we're looking at about between 6 and 10, depending on the total number of students that go. So if you're interested in that, please let me know ahead of time. There is a limited number of chaperones, because otherwise we have to pay for a whole bunch of chaperones, which greatly increases the cost for that. If you have any questions on any of this, please feel free to email me. Like I said, I respond directly with Remind a lot faster, or you can email me through emmabrew@forsyth.k12.ga.us. Thank you, and have a wonderful night.